Time for some real talk now. Illinois Congresswoman Tammy Duckworth, 8 months pregnant, and asking for a waiver so she can vote by proxy in the upcoming leadership battles. But Democrats, including Nancy Pelosi, are telling her nope, because they don't want to set any sort of precedent. Fox News contributor Julie Roginski was a political advisor to the late Democratic Senator Frank Lautenberg, and David Avella is the president of GOPAC, a political training center for Republicans. Julie, I know even though you're on the Democratic side, you're really upset about this story. Why?
I am so steamed about this, I can't even begin to tell you. This is inexcusable. This woman, who is a veteran and a hero, is unable to travel because she's 8 or 9 months pregnant. All of us who've been in her shoes know you can't get on a plane that late.
Right.
There is a very important leadership battle going on between Congresswoman Eshoo of California, whom Nancy Pelosi is supporting, and Congressman Frank Pallone of New Jersey. Full disclosure, he's my old boss from about 20 years ago. But it seems that Representative Duckworth was siding with Congressman Pallone, and so lo and behold, suddenly she can't vote by proxy, despite the fact that she can't travel for a very good reason. She's pregnant, and her doctor won't let her. This is not what Democrats are about. We're better in this. I'm embarrassed and I'm ashamed of the Democratic Party today because of this.
That's interesting, and I guess big of you to admit that and be upset about it. But David, the Democrats don't they frame themselves as the party for women and for women's rights and being feminist, etc.? And so you would think that they would be jumping at the chance to allow Duckworth to do this by proxy.
You know, this just comes on the heels of Hillary Clinton attacking Joni Ernst and telling women that you must be more than just a woman. You must be willing to be committed to push the values and opportunities for all women. And now that the campaigns are over, we see the Democrats are back to away from campaign messages and more into doing things the way they want. Let me also say, Gretchen, it's more than just the Democrats. Republicans and Democrats need to look at how they're operating in Congress and not play by different rules than everybody else plays by. Right. And as we as a country have tried to expand people's opportunities to vote, Congress needs to look at how they're operating and make sure they're doing the same.
It's interesting, Julie and David, because we went back and did some research to see, has there been a precedent? Have they allowed people to do this? And our research has shown that they have not. That, you know, we have these examples of people on their deathbeds literally being wheeled into the chambers to actually vote in person. But from our accounting, Julie, we haven't been able to find where this proxy situation has happened. So what do you say to that?
Well, first of all, there's a first time for everything. And secondly, this is not a formal vote on the floor of the House of Representatives, which is governed by a certain set of rules. This is a Rules Committee vote that the Democratic caucus itself can establish. Congresswoman DeLauro of Connecticut is in charge of that. And she and Nancy Pelosi really should take a look at what the Democratic Party stands for. What we've been talking about. You know, we keep talking about opportunities for women. This is Exhibit A as to why she should be allowed to vote.
Well, speaking of that, Congresswoman DeLauro, the spokesperson for her says this, quote, Congresswoman DeLauro does not want to set a precedent. There are many situations where the argument could be made for a waiver, including Congresswoman Duckworth. The question is, how do you choose? So, David, does this smell of politics for what Julie was setting up before about this particular vote, and Duckworth is not on the side of Pelosi, etc., or what is it?
You know, it's a great question, and only the Minority Leader Pelosi can answer that question. But at a time when pregnant women just a few weeks ago were able to cast ballots early, as shareholders across America, when they can't be somewhere, they can cast a proxy vote. As in business every day, people conduct business over video conferencing.
Yeah.
Congress needs to look at how they operate and get with the times. As Julie said, there's a first for everything. And this seems like a reform that's pretty simple that would allow better. Yeah, well, and Duckworth didn't even mention in the letter of her request that she's a double amputee, which, by the way, might, wow, I don't even know what to say about that. All right, in the meantime, 2 weeks ago, when you guys were on before the elections, you had a friendly bet on the predictions for the Alaska governor's race. Now, we went back to the videotape, but you actually said this off the videotape. And who won, Julie?
Well, I believe I won that bet, and it's interesting that Mr. Avella happens to coincidentally not be in the studio today, to not be able to give me that $1 in person. He's mysteriously across the country in Los Angeles, but I believe him anyway. David, I will take that $1 off of you when I see you, and I will donate it to the DNC in your honor, my friend.
Wow, I don't know if he wants that, but he's actually showing the dollar.
Julie, I have your dollar. And let me say that as a longtime Washington Redskin fan, I am well versed in losing. And let me also say that with Republicans now taking over in Congress, maybe we will get tax reform, and you will get this whole dollar, not 67 cents after you pay your taxes.
You got to give me something, my friend. We didn't win anything this year. This may be the only thing the Democratic Party won. You got to give me some credit here today.
All right. You're both good sports. Thanks much for the discussion.
Thank you.
So it was
Thank
the plane
you.
crash that sent shockwaves around the world. New video now of the aftermath of Malaysia Flight 17 that was shot down over Ukraine. We're getting an up-close look at the moments immediately after it crashed. Plus, Nurse Casey Hickox has been dubbed the so-called Ebola nurse. What she's saying today about her nickname and why she doesn't want that nickname anymore. And Arnold Schwarzenegger posting this picture of himself. Yeah, he's just feeding a donkey. Or is it a